Welcome to Charter Local Edition. I'm Tracy Young. In April, a commercial truck traveling along the Angeles Crest Highway lost its brakes, crashing into a bookstore and killing 2 people. And joining us to talk about legislation he has introduced that would ban commercial trucks from traveling along this route is Assemblymember Anthony Portantino, who represents the 44th District. Nice to have you with us, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Will you speak for just a moment? Well, I asked you about what happened in this case, but this certainly was not the first time that this has happened. Many people were aware that this route was unsafe. Will you remind us why?
Well, basically, after the earthquake years ago, more and more people started to use the Angeles Crest Highway as a shortcut between Palmdale and LA, and it would come out into the residential community of La Cañada, Flint Ridge. Out-of-state truckers continue to use that route because it shows up on their GPS systems as a shortcut versus going around the 14 to the 5 to the 210. Caltrans has known for years that this is a potential problem, and 6 months ago we had a truck come down the crest, which has a significant grade, into a coffee shop. Now, 6 months later, the same tragedy had happened, this time claiming 2 lives, a father and a 12-year-old daughter, and it just broke my heart when I was listening to the family talk about this 12-year-old daughter who on her day off from school wanted to spend the day with her dad. And, you know, just a horrendous, avoidable tragedy. Right. The good news is now there's a temporary 90-day ban on trucks on the Angeles Crest Highway, and my legislation will enact a permanent ban. And just yesterday, it was approved unanimously in the Assembly to go into law. Now it's moving over to the Senate, and it's an urgency bill which once it gets through the Senate, the moment the governor signs it, it becomes law.
In this situation, I understand the difficult thing here is there isn't a pull-out place for the trucks, or there isn't. If they do lose their brakes, they have nowhere to go but into either commercial or residential space. So, if some sort of malfunction happens, there's nothing that can be done.
Right, and this road was never designed to have such large, heavy trucks on it going down a significant grade. Now, Caltrans is working on some mitigating measures. The city of La Cañada, Flint Ridge has written repeatedly to have this problem solved, and so we brought all the stakeholders together to work on the engineering mitigating factors, but also the truck bans on these rural-type roads that have been enacted before have all been done through legislation. So it's very appropriate for the state to wade in and do a permanent truck ban.
Will you speak to a moment about the fact that the truckers with their GPS, they are programmed in there, about how important it is that that information is really distributed to those who do not either reside here or just don't travel along that route on a continual basis?
Absolutely, and we're also working with the federal government on trying to update the national GPS system and also do some early warning detection up the crest as well, because it's the out-of-state truckers, it's not the in-state truckers, no. We're also increasing the fine. It'll be a $1,000 fine if you're caught on this stretch of road illegally. Now we're exempting out local deliveries and those folks who order furniture, and there's certain pragmatic provisions, but it's in the recent tragedy was one of those giant car carriers that was packed with cars that came down the crest, out-of-state trucker, out-of-state truck, lost control, goes right into this bookstore, and along the way claimed the lives of these 2 people.
And is it my understanding that on the GPS, is that when the truckers pull this up and they can see that, they clearly see that not only are they not supposed to travel there, but immediately there will be a signal sent out to the Highway Patrol and they can head up there right away to stop those truckers?
Well, we're hoping that Caltrans institutes that sensor in the street that will send the signal to the sheriff and the CHP. Caltrans, to my knowledge, has not agreed to put that in yet. We're hoping they will.
You're working on that, though. All righty. Thanks for your efforts. Obviously, are sorry for the loss of those individuals, but thank you so much for your efforts.
Thank you.
For Charter Local Edition, I'm Tracy Young. Now back to CNN Headline News.